Chapter 0, Gift or Curse? Power of Nature. We now see Hiruzen and the head on the hospital yokkais as they look over Naruto's most recent medical file. The boy had just been brought in for chemicals being splashed onto his face by one of the caretakers and was rushed to the hospital a few hours ago. What do you mean he's permanently blind? Isn't there anything we can do? Hiruzen says this with a very heavy heart. The one he looked at like a surrogate grandson was heavily injured and he couldn't do anything to help him. We tried all we can, but the mixture of the chemicals prevented us from saving his eyes in time, says Yokkais with sorrow in his tone. As both men think of what to do, they hear the door open and see Naruto, although blind, in the doorway. Naruto? How did you get here? Hiruzen asked worriedly, not knowing who brought him there. I'm going to be permanently blind, aren't I? Asks Naruto with a somber frown on him. Who told you that? Naruto asked Hiruzen, trying to get a name so that he could punish the one responsible for breaking the boy's heart. The trees did. Here, I'll show you. As he begins to walk to the window, though bumping into a chair, he unlatches the window and opens it. As he sets his hands back down, the tree next to the window moves one of its branches down to pat Naruto's head. Both adults were shocked at this and Hiruzen gets an idea. Naruto, has this always happened to you when you run into the forest? Yes, the trees help me in my training. They help me in ways that no one has in this village. This could only truly happen if he has Makuten. Would release, Hiruzen thinks to himself. And as he is looking at Naruto, he sees the tree give him a flower from its branch. Naruto, do you know any jutsus from the trees? Asks a wishful Hiruzen, hoping that his hunch is correct. Well, I can do this. As Naruto raises his hand and flowers begin to sprout in his palm. Time skip to when Naruto is alone in the forest and sitting against the tree in a meditative state. I see you're connected to nature, my little friend, says someone, jolting Naruto out of his meditation. Who are you? Asks a scared Naruto, seeing only a dark aura surrounding the figure. I go by many names, the Master of Shadows, Wielder of Darkness, the Nobody King, but you can call me Mr. Nobody. Why are you here then, Mr. Nobody? Says a scared Naruto. I'm here by my master's wishes to give you something, Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto expression turns to shock as he never gave Mr. Nobody his name, as Mr. Nobody reaches into his cloak and pulls out a glove with a strange symbol on it. And a scroll with the same strange symbol on it. Use it well, and use it wisely, young duelist. As Mr. Nobody walks away, a pillar of shadows erupts as tall as Mr. Nobody as he walks through it. We see a ninja with a metal hapuri on his face with the leaf symbol on his forehead. Are you okay? Naruto asks the man who came up to Naruto, checking if he was okay physically. Why yeah, he just gave me this book and glove then left me alone before you showed up. The man stands up and sighs. Well, there doesn't seem to be any physical damage from what I can tell, and before you ask, Hiruzen asked me to train you. Time skip to when they were hours into their training and they found that if Naruto used normal clones they have his blindness, but if he uses a elemental or shadow clone they aren't affected by the blindness. Now they were in a field with Naruto having the mysterious glove on. So, how is this thing supposed to work? Yamato-sensei, says Naruto, feeling around the glove and finds the wristband of the glove has 3 tabs in groves. It says here that the glove has 3 tabs that indicate something called mana levels, along with a chakra level sensor and a senjutsu level sensor. What does it say for the other 2? Yamato looks at Naruto, curious to what he has to say. Well, there's little engravings with the letters for M, C and S before each slot and tab. The S one is opposite of the other 2, and the other 2 I can only think of is full. As he says this, a man with white hair with a metal spiked headband with the kanji for oil on it appears in a swirl of leaves. Master Jiraiya? What are you doing here? Says Yamato, shocked that one of the Sannin was there. I came to see if my reports from my spy network were true. It appears my fears were correct. Who exactly are you? I feel regret coming off you, Master Jiraiya. Why is that? Says a wondering Naruto, confused by his actions. Well, before you were born, your parents had asked me to be your godfather, though my spy network had been keeping me from the village. When I heard that you were grievously blinded by one of the caretakers, I rushed here as soon as I possibly could. I am deeply sorry. As he says this, Jiraiya bows to Naruto. Please don't bow, you had a duty to the village that kept you away, and you probably would have only been slowed down with my little legs. Jiraiya, shocked by this answer, looks at Naruto and sees he has a longing look to his face. Don't tell the old man this, but your father and mother were strong shinobi. In fact, they were the legendary Red Hot Habanero and the Yellow Flash. Both Yamato and Naruto were shocked by this information. Holy shit, says Naruto before he was hit behind the head by a nearby tree. Naruto, where did you hear that? Says both men stare at Naruto, although smiling. They had a dark aura around them. The caretaker that blinded me, just after she did that actually. She said holy shit I did it, then laughed maniacally. Both men look at each other and nod in saying that they'd get the information of if the caretaker that did that to Naruto was killed. Naruto, it says here to infuse your will into the glove. Give it a shot, Naruto, says Yamato, wanting to see what the glove will do. As he hears this, Naruto focuses on the glove, pouring his will into it as it transforms into a gauntlet with 5 different designs in a swirl pattern. As Naruto looked at the gauntlet, a name came to him as he began to use the cutter for the nature civilization. He starts by turning his body to the left with his right arm raised and bent upward, your left shoulder raised up and his left arm bent forward, both his hands balled into fists, and your right leg raised. Next he kicked his right leg forward. Then he crouched down and spread his arms wide with his hands unbowed. Next he reballed his right hand and held it against his chest and cupped his left hand around it while his right knee is raised high and crossed in front of his left leg. Finally, he ended it by stomping his right foot forward, both knees bent, and punched his right fist forward while his left shoulder is raised up with his left fist pointing forward, shouting the name Mighty Shouter. As he does the cutter, a swirl of sakura and normal leaf flow around him as a symbol of a tree with a partial circle around its base with protrusions jutting out of the partial circle while having green dots in between each protrusion. As they see a massive green humanoid elephant with a massive club, as the creature lands he looks at the 3 human in shock. Shouter has not been summoned here, and humans being in front of Shouter must mean that Shouter is in the human realm. Who is it that summoned Shouter, says the now no Mighty Shouter. Naruto with the help of Yamato gets in front of the men. I did, a Mighty Shouter. As Mighty Shouter knelt down to Naruto, he stares into his eyes, seeing he is blind. A blind duelist. Mighty Shouter never expected to be summoned here, nor by one so frail. Though my blindness may not be by natural causes, I don't think of it as a disability, Mighty Shouter, says Naruto, brushing his hand near his eyes. Mighty Shouter apologizes for his lack of understanding. Shouter sees young duelist is very strong of heart. Would duelist like to visit where Shouter comes from, asks Shouter gently as if he's caring for a young sapling. Well, I would love to, but I can't come alone, due to me both being a child and, well, Mighty Shouter understands. Does little duelist's caretakers like to join him in going to nature civilization? The 2 men look at each other, then nod at Shouter, then hold on to little duelist and Shouter. My name's Naruto. Naruto Uzumaki, says a nervous Naruto. A strong name, Naruto Uzumaki. Now let's begin our journey. Chapter 1, Meeting the Masters, and Discovering Ancient Truths. We now see the group being transported to the nature civilization as they see a massive forest and wildlife. This is, wow, says Yamato looking at the scene in front of him. I can't feel any senjutsu in this place. We're definitely not in our dimension anymore, says Jiraiya with a bit of worry. Naruto just stood there taking in all the sensations he was feeling. He felt like he was more comfortable here, more connected here. Come, Shouter has someone Naruto Uzumaki wants to meet. As the 3 were walking to the location Mighty Shouter was leading them, a beast in plated armor landed. The beast had a horn on his snout and 2 protruding fangs with a head crest that had 3 spikes, with spikes protruding from his shoulders and a spike tail ending with 3 green crystal-like spikes. Mighty Shouter is glad to see Tatsurian the Unchained again, says Shouter with his arms outstretched. Good to see you too. I have been looking all over for you. Where did you go? Shouter steps aside and has Tatsurian look at the 3 humans. Humans? But these aren't like Raiden and the others. Where did they come from? Mighty Shouter was summoned by the youngest one called Naruto Uzumaki. He summoned Shouter back to the human realm. As Shouter explains what happened, Tatsurian became more surprised. But then he sniffs the air and looks at Naruto. You have had weird smell, like something was poured on you. Naruto looks down to the groan. My sight was taken from me by someone that was meant to protect me in the orphanage, after my parents died. Tatsurian looks at Naruto feeling sad for him, then grabs the back of the boy's collar and places him on his back. Take this as a apology for remembering that probably traumatic experience, young one. Thanks, Tatsurian. Much appreciated, says Naruto, feeling the warmth of Tatsurian through his armor as he feels around and finds the part of Tatsurian's armor that has a handle and grabs onto it. As Tatsurian does this, Mighty Shouter places the 2 men on his shoulders and begins to run to the location. Time skip to when the group makes it to a large tree with multiple creatures roaming around and a large elderly man caring for some of the plant creatures as he sees Shouter walking with 2 other humans and Tatsurian with a human boy on his back. Shouter, are they? Yes, Mighty Shouter was summoned by the boy from the human realm. As Shouter lets down the 2 men, Tatsurian lets down Naruto carefully as to make sure he doesn't fall. Thank you, Tatsurian. You're welcome, tiny human. Tatsurian, why did you? As the larger gentleman looks at Naruto's eyes, he sees that he's blind and walks over to him, helping him to Yamato and Jiraiya. Apologies for the late introduction. I'm Benjirao Kimura, the dual master of nature, says the now known Benjirao with a bow. I'm Jiraiya the Toad Sage and this is Yamato, and the boy here, who summoned Mighty Shouter, is Naruto Uzumaki. Benjirao looks at Naruto and feels something within him. There appears to be a secondary source of mana sealed inside the boy. Oh, that's Kurama. Well, he has been through a lot and had to be sealed inside of me for the village's safety. But I don't know why he had to be sealed. But he has helped me a lot when I got injured. After a few hours of talking, Benjirao was caught up to speed on recent events and now knew what to expect. Well, I must inform the other mates about this so we may teach the boy how to duel safely, due to his condition. Wait, there's other duel masters, says a curious Naruto. Yes, there's Master Chavez, the duel master of fire, his wife Master Nadia, the duel master of water, the master of darkness Alison Okamoto, wife of the fire and nature duel master Raiden Pierce Okamoto, and the master of light and water Gabriel Wallace, says Benjirao while walking to a strange device that seemed to be powered by the plant life. As Benjirao types in a command, several screens pop up and the first one to light up has two people in it, one having blonde hair and purple clothing with a noticeable bump in her womb. The other is a man with black hair with red highlights wearing red and green clothing. Master Kimura, have you seen Mighty Shouter? We've been looking in the calmer parts of the nature civilization for an hour, says the man from the screen. Yes, I have, Raiden, and we have a lot to discuss, including a checkup on your little one. The now known Raiden nods as the transmission was cut off and another man with darker skin with blue clothing appears. Master Kimura, as he was about to speak, he sees two men and a boy standing behind Kimura. I'm guessing they're related to Mighty Shouter's disappearance. Yes, Gabriel, they are, or more accurately, the boy is. As he says this, a speech bubble pops up and Kimura reads it. It seems that Master Chavez and Nadia have to go through the more open side of nature civilization to get here and will be arriving shortly. Alright, I'll just finish things up here in water civilization and then summon Shouter to come get me. We now see all the duel masters and the monarchs via screens in the grand meeting hall of the 5 civilizations. Greetings everyone, I hope you have all been well, says Master Kimura genuinely. So what is this big news that you have to tell us about? Master Kimura, says the man with red clothing dressed like a suburban monk with a hoodie, and on his lap a little girl with blue and red clothing with a woman in blue clothing next to him. Well, Master Chavez, the reason that I called you here, is apparently the human realm has drastically changed in ways that we never knew. A giant blue jellyfish that looks like it's made of technology looks at Kimura. And pray tell, how did you acquire this information? Well, King Tritonus, Mighty Shouter was summoned to the other side of the veil that isn't from Mr. Nobody's side. As Kimura says this, everyone was shocked and began wondering who could have summoned Shouter. Jiraiya, you may enter with the boy. As he says this, Jiraiya and Naruto enter through the door with Naruto seeming nervous. I hate to point out the obvious, but why is that boy blind? Says Master Nadia pointing at Naruto. Well, that's another thing. You see, Naruto, although he is blind, he wasn't born blind. Everyone including the monarchs were shocked by this information. Are you saying that? The blonde woman stopped as the thought came into her mind and she began to cry. Yes, during my time in my village's orphanage, one of the caretakers that didn't like me, poured chemicals on my eyes to try and kill me. But the other caretakers saw this and stopped her and rushed me to the hospital in my village. As Naruto get memories from that day, he began to feel upset and looks down. When the little girl on Chavez's lap hopped down and walked around to hug Naruto to help him feel better. As Naruto feels a kid hug Naruto, he gently pats the child's head. Thank you, little one. Chapter 2. Beginning of the legend. We start our story with Naruto, now with a walking cane to help him move around more effectively while using his enhanced senses and his Kaijudo glove on him. Walking in the woods of Konohagakure during the winter as we see him look up at the sky feeling the snowfall on his face. He then feels a kind soul being surrounded by boys with bad intentions. Naruto, as soon as he feels that they are about to do something, he rushes to the kinder soul and gets in front of her, activating his gauntlet. You should know, picking on a girl isn't nice, says Naruto while having his right ear towards them. Oh yeah, and what's a blind orphan gonna do? Ha 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 ha. As the bullies laughed, Naruto smirked and began to get ready to do a Kaijudo summon. He starts by spinning his body to the right with his right arm extended out and jump kicked with his right leg as he come back to face forward again. Then he swung his right arm backward and his left arm forward in front of his torso. Finally he punched with his right arm forward and with an open palm while his left arm is raised up and backward with an open palm. As he does this, he is surrounded by fire, as he yells the name of the kaiju he wants to summon. Blaze Belcher. As the boys look on in confusion as Naruto does this, and fear of the fire burning them, They then see a strange symbol appear as a little creature with orange skin, a big mouth and orangish yellow eyes appears from the symbol. As Naruto flicks his hand forward and give the command, "Attack Blaze Belcher." As Naruto finishes the movements for the Blaze Belcher, it looks at the boys and begins to spit out fire at them as the boys run in fear. When the bullies are gone, Naruto sends the Blaze Belcher back to the fire civilization and helps the girl up. "You okay?" says a worried Naruto with his left ear to the girl. "Why yes I am. Are you really blind?" says the kind girl. "Despite my blindness, I don't think of it as a weakness that I have. I'm Naruto Uzumaki," says Naruto with great wisdom in his voice. "Hinata Hyuga is my name," says a shy Hinata. "Say, what are the color of your eyes? I bet they're beautiful." "I'm told they're lavender colored," says Hinata, shocked that someone actually complimented her. "Lavender? Yeah, I can quote unquote see how beautiful they are. I bet they're the most pretty eyes in the whole village." As Naruto says this, he smiles with all honesty. "Well, I better get going. I haven't had lunch yet, so see you later." We now see Naruto as he's walking home from a rough day of training, as the trees have given him a few new techniques for wood style and helped him to get a hold of the other chakra natures, and finding that he can use other Kekui Genkai like ice and boil release, which Kurama helps in that endeavor by telling Naruto how his sibling Kokuo used it, and explosion release, which Kurama also helped with, being able to face some of the explosion corp from the hidden stone, among other Kekui Genkai. As he takes one more step, he feels Hinata's chakra begin to move at a fast pace along with a dark presence, as Naruto does the cutter for the fire civilization and yells the kaiju he wants to summon. Gilliflame the assaulter. As Gilliflame is summoned, Naruto extends both hands and Gilliflame puts him on his back. "You run, I guide you." When they're near Hinata's chakra signature, Naruto jumps off Gilliflame and lands on the ground, controlling Gilliflame. "Gilliflame, grab Hinata from the bad guy." As Gilliflame does this, the ninja from Kumo is flown back and is looking at Gilliflame and Naruto. "From what I'm sensing, you're a bad guy. I hate bad guys." As he begins to do a wood style release. Makuten, Mokusatsu Shibari no Jutsu, wood style, silent strangle jutsu. When the Kumo ninja was about to attack, he was ensnared by the trees and downed. "Now go to sleep." As Naruto does another snake seal, he then blows in the face of the ninja, spraying him with pollen. Makuten, Suminhari Kafan Jutsu, wood style, sleeping needles pollen jutsu. As he does, his chakra is drained as he passes out due to him training the entire day with new techniques and improvising some of his own jutsus. Chapter 3, Meeting of the Heads, and more Keijudo users. We start our journey with Naruto waking up from being passed out, and it was morning. But he wasn't outside, or in his home. It felt way too fancy to be his house, and there weren't any plants in the room. As he rose from the bed, a servant of the Hyuga came into the room and sees Naruto rising. "Oh, you're awake. Lord Hayashi is waiting for you." As Naruto got and walked to Hayashi's office, he saw the workers from the branch family bow to him, and he was off-put with this, simply for the fact that he was not used to this treatment. When they arrived at their location, the servant bowed at the door. "Heishi-sama, Lord Uzumaki is here as you requested. Let him in." As a gruff voice says those words, Naruto was put off a bit and gripped his staff he had. As Naruto entered the room, he saw the head of the Hyuga clan sitting down next to a table in front of him. "Come, sit, Naruto." As Naruto sits down, he feels that the Hyuga clan head is happy, something that very few people would see, though Naruto can't due to his blindness. But he can feel happiness flow off him to Naruto. "So why did you bring me to your estate?" Heishi-sama, says a confused Naruto. "Please, just call me Heishi. Besides, it has been a while." "Naruto, what do you mean by that, sir?" Naruto is becoming more and more confused by Heishi's pride towards him. "Well, you see, your father and the head of the Uchiha clan were a part of the same team. We fought together in many battles, including against 2 Jinchuriki. Is the reason for the village hating me is because I'm the Jinchuriki of Kurama," says a sad Naruto. "Yes, you are correct on the Jinchuriki part. But who's Kurama?" "Oh, it's the Nine Tails' real name. They all have real names. It's just that Kurama, due to seeing my past, decided that I was worthy of his name. Oi brat, make sure that he doesn't say my name often. But he didn't like me describing the situation," say Naruto, chuckling at Kurama's response. "I see. Very well then. But may I ask, what's up with your glove? Its fabric is not like anything here in the Land of Fire," says a fascinated Heishi, wondering what's so special about the glove. "It's best to show then tell, and bring Hinata. I believe that this might help her grow out of her shell." "Very well then, servant, bring Hinata to the training ground. But don't inform the elders, who knows what horrors they might bring." We now see Naruto in the training grounds of the Hyuga household with his gauntlet activated. When the father and daughter used their Byakugan, they saw something they couldn't understand. "What I'm about to do is to stay between us, Jiraiya-sensei, and Yamato-sensei, do you understand? Both Hyuga members nod in agreement. Now I'll only do a small summon to the nature civilization, as he does the cutter for the nature civilization and is surrounded by sakura petals and normal leaves as he yells the name of the beast he wants to summon. Roaming Bloodmane. As Roaming Bloodmane appears he looks at Naruto, then at the Hyuga, then back to Naruto. I sense no ill will here. Are you sure that they can be trusted with this truth, says Bloodmane worried. It can talk, says a exasperated Hinata. Yes I can, young one. Naruto is the reason you summoned me to show them to the masters? Yes my friend. But only us three, and maybe the Anbu that's hiding above us. As he says this, Anbu with a weasel mask hops down from the roof. Hello, Weasel, it's good to see you again. You too? Naruto, what's the meaning of this? Anbu says, an angry Heishi staring at the Anbu. The Hokage gave me a mission to figure out how more people like Naruto can help the village, and I have the paperwork for the task as well. As Weasel takes out the papers from his uniform, Heishi takes the paperwork from the Anbu and reads it, seeing the Hokage's signature and his secret security signature. Very well, so now what do we do, Naruto? Everyone, hold hands, except for me. I need both hands to do this. As everyone held their hands together and Bloodmane and Weasel held Naruto's shoulders, he sends everyone to the nature civilization. We now see the group in the nature civilization near a temple-like area. Welcome to the nature civilization, everyone, says Naruto with a smile on his face, trying his best to be like a host to them. Whoa, this is beautiful, Naruto. I can tell you could be more connected here, says Weasel exasperated. Bloodmane, can you guide us to Master Kimura please, says Naruto, not turning his head due to him not knowing Bloodmane's location. Of course little one. As he says this, Bloodmane puts Naruto on his shoulders and leads the group to Master Kimura's location. Master Kimura. As Naruto says this, Kimura turns to see some new people with Naruto. Naruto, I see you brought some new friends, and I'm guessing he did something that made you ask for how he used the kaiju? I might have saved Hinata from getting kidnapped, says Naruto, rubbing the back of his head while Bloodmane puts him down and leaving through one of the holes in the trees. Excuse me. Master Kimura, where are we exactly, says a shy Hinata. Well, for one thing this ain't the Jinjutsu, so I guess we're in another realm, says Weasel, looking at all the plants not recognizing any of them. Indeed you're correct. Welcome to the Kaiju realm, a separate realm from the one you know, one separated by 5 civilizations, those being the nature, fire, water, darkness, and light. Me being a master of nature civilization, I mostly use nature creatures, says Kimura, saying this while walking to a part of the temple that has the computer in it. Mater Kimura, I believe that Hinata could be a water civilization or nature one as well, says Naruto with all seriousness. Maybe, but we'd have to check to be sure, Naruto. Unlike you, she probably might just be one civilization, says Kimura, stroking his beard. Time skip, and everyone was tested for an element, and the one who was the most surprised was Weasel due to him gaining the nature and light civilizations and not fire like he expected. Say Weasel, why are you surprised that you have the nature civilization, says Kimura with a questionable look on his face. Weasel, after some thinking, removed his mask to reveal he was Itachi Uchiha. It's because my clan specializes in fire and sometimes lightning, not water or earth chakra. Why associate yourself with water? And there's no earth civilization, says a confused Kimura. He means his chakra nature. He's mostly a fire-style ninjutsu user, Master Kimura. There are 5 different chakra natures: fire, water, earth, wind, and lightning, and combining water and earth makes wood style. There is also the less-known mud style, where the user emits more water than earth chakra, making mud, unlike wood style which is more earth than water, says Naruto so easily that it was like second nature. Naruto, when did you learn of that information, asks Heishi, curious to know the answer. Oh well, wood style I was taught that by the forest, but Kurama helped me think of the chakra amount theory, says an excited Naruto. Wait, the forest taught you wood style, says the 2 older shinobi. I shouldn't have said that. I should not have said that, says Naruto, now regretting saying that. Time skip to when the group heads back to the human realm, but now this time with Kimura, seeing as he wanted to see how the human world has shaped up to be. As master and student walk through the streets, he sees the villagers glaring at Naruto as he is not affected by their glares, as he hears someone yell Naruto's name from behind. Oi Naruto, wait up! As the 2 stop, they see a young boy with a dog on his head walk up to Naruto with a raven-haired boy with his hair in a ponytail and an unimpressed look. Troublesome blonde, we saw you walk out with this guy out of the Hyuga compound. So what happened? Oh, and I'm Shikamaru Nara. Sorry if the troublesome blonde has caused you grief, say the now known to Kimura, Shikamaru. Hello Kiba, Shikamaru. This is Master Benjiro Kimura. He's been helping me in my training, says Naruto while he was facing them with a smile on his face. So what kinds of skills were you able to learn from him? What about seeing with your other senses? Says Kiba. You idiot, like that's possible. Sure, he has better senses, but seeing with them, I don't think that's possible, says Shikamaru with a bored expression. Now Kiba is right about the fake seeing thing. Although I can't see color, my other senses are boosted and I can see with my other senses, says Naruto with a slight chuckle. I told you. I'm smart, says a proud Kiba puffing out his chest. Master Kimura, shall we go to my home, says Naruto wanting to go home. When the two get to Naruto's apartment, Kimura stares in shock about the profanity written on the wall outside of Naruto's apartment. How can they write this? He's done nothing to them. If anything, he should be praised as a hero due to him keeping Kurama calm, and he's merely a child. Why would the leader let this happen? When the two enter the apartment, Kimura sees a room filled with magnificent flowers. I see you've collected a unique arrangement of flora. I'm impressed. If your glove didn't say that you were to be a jack of all trades, I would have mistaken you for a nature specialist with all these plants and herbs around, says Kimura, exasperated by the amount of plant life in the room. Yes, the forest gives me the seeds and I plant them here or give them to traveling merchants for both momentary value and things of equal value, including my sword, says Naruto as he used his shadow clones to check up on the flowers. As Kimura watches Naruto use the shadow clones, he's amazed that they aren't blinded. Naruto, did you know? Yes, master. I know my clones aren't blind, and because of that I can see through their memories due to when they are dispelled I gain their memories. Very useful in my opinion. But what do you think of Kiba and Shikamaru? Honestly, I think that the darkness civilization would be best for him, says Naruto walking carefully to his bed. I do feel that he has a connection to darkness. But why though, says Kimura with a puzzled look. Oh, it's because of his Kekui Genkai. The Nara clan has the ability to manipulate shadows. They mostly use it for binding their opponents, says Naruto knowingly. I see. Manipulation of shadows would help him be more powerful darkness user. I bet Allison would love to teach him. So, why hasn't someone cleaned the wall outside your home, says Kimura with serious concern in his voice. You know that Kurama had to be sealed inside me because he was forced to attack the village. But you may not know is that he's probably as big as an earthbound giant. A lot of lives were lost by the attack. They believed that my father, the fourth Hokage, was able to kill Kurama. But that was a lie by the villagers. The truth is that he was sealed inside both me and my father when he was dying. I have only half of his full power, says Naruto looking down at the floor in sadness. Sure, some of the clan heads here in the village help me from time to time, but they can't do much due to the civilian council saying that I can't be adopted by any of the village clans and have to live alone. Although the Hokage rules this village, the civilian council have taken too much power from him. He can only control some of the ninja, including his Anbu. I see. So the ones for these transgressions against you are civilian related. Quite troublesome, says Kimura stroking his beard. Tell you what, gather those two boys along with any that you may think that might have the potential to be duelists. Of course they might have to bring their parents, says Kimura, now with an idea for making the civilian council unable to stop him. We now see both generations of the Ino Shikacho trio, Tsuman, Kiba, Inuzuka, Shinoa Burame and his father, Hinata, and Itachi. For those who don't know why I called you here, the answer is quite simple. We're going to do something that will disrupt the civilian council entirely, something that is not chakra, but energy that you are all born with. Master Kimura, if you would please give them the gloves, says Naruto with all seriousness in his voice. As the gloves were handed out to the ones who didn't have one, Kiba only had one thing on his mind. In fact, it was on the minds of those who didn't know what exactly was happening. Hey Naruto, what are the gloves for? As Naruto smirks, he turns his body towards Kiba as Kimura begins to do the veil opening cutter. Something that will blow your mind, Kiba.
And that's it for the first part of this story. I'm planning on